But also, the family of Virginia Giuffre released a statement overnight in response to some of the comments that you made this week. You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing, I didn't like it. And we threw him out. We said, we don't want him, at the place. This is a story that's been known for many years, as you know. But it's, I didn't like it that he was doing that.
Señores, lo que acaban de ver es a Donald Trump tratando de responder una simple pregunta sobre las fechas que rodean su relación con Jeffrey Epstein. Y que como tantas cosas alrededor de su vida simplemente no cuadran. Se los explico. Hace apenas unos días, él dijo lo siguiente.
Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of
them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
What did they do?
In the spa.
Jobs. In the spa.
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, does that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
Él afirma que no sabía por qué Epstein llevaba a esas mujeres con él. Digamos que tal vez sea cierto. Pero repasemos una de las frases más famosas de Trump, publicada por el New York Magazine en el año 2002. Conozco a Jeff desde hace 15 años. Es un tipo genial, muy divertido. Incluso se dice que le gustan las mujeres hermosas tanto como a mí. Y que muchas de ellas son bastante jóvenes. No hay duda de que Jeffrey disfruta la vida social. Amigos, esa cita no es cualquier cosa. Virginia Giuffre trabajaba en Mar-a-Lago en el año 2000. Fue en el año 2001 que Epstein comenzó a traficarla. La cita de Trump elogiando los gustos de Epstein por mujeres jóvenes es del 2002. No estoy diciendo directamente que Trump lo sabía todo, pero como que las fechas hablan por sí solas. Y claro, en vez de explicar esta contradicción, Donald Trump hace lo que siempre hace: atacar a los medios. Pero en esta ocasión ni siquiera fueron ellos quienes sacaron el tema. Fue la propia gente que él eligió para gobernar.
Say that the FBI has Epstein's list, they're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
We have flight logs, we have information, names, that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims, 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
The Ghislaine Maxwell Black Book. What names are in there, man? You understand how many powerful people probably want this thing to desperately go away? How many people were interconnected with this Epstein sex ring operation? There are a lot of tapes out there of a lot of people. I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I talked about it yesterday. You can go check it out. I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Y es que la realidad es que Donald Trump nunca tuvo esta intención de liberar los archivos de Epstein. Lo prometió durante los meses de campaña porque pues sabía que muchos seguidores querían respuestas. Sabía que su base radical le gustaría el morbo de saber la lista de los clientes de Epstein. Pero terminó siendo otra mentira. Él sabía que no los iba a liberar. Solo estaba utilizando este escándalo para poder manipular esta base que ella tenía acostumbrado con las conspiraciones, prometiendo justicia que nunca pensaba entregar. Por ejemplo, aquí lo vemos diciendo exactamente eso.
A lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
Según él, todo fue una conspiración demócrata. Por eso, convenientemente, nunca se publicaron los archivos. Hablamos del plan perfecto. Claro, si tus votantes son lo suficientemente ingenuos como para creerlo. Pero ahora tenemos el panorama mucho más claro. Donald Trump no solo mintió sobre Epstein, miente sobre todo. Es esta forma de operar. No cree en nada, no defiende nada, no le importa nada, excepto su propio poder. No es solo con Epstein. ¿Cuántas promesas él hizo solo en su primer mandato? La famosa gran ley de infraestructura que nunca apareció. El sistema de salud más barato y mejor. Nunca existió. Recortes de impuestos para la clase media. Nunca llegaron hasta el día de hoy. El boom de los empleos, que terminó siendo un espejismo. Y no nos olvidemos la resurrección manufacturera, que terminó convirtiéndose en más fábricas cerradas. Nada de eso se cumplió. Pero sí se aseguró de aprobar recortes de impuestos que terminan beneficiando al mismo. Y ahora pues está repitiendo exactamente la misma receta. Bajará los precios, que traerá justicia, que luchará contra la élite corrupta. La diferencia es que ahora ya sabemos que es falso. No ha entregado nada salvo beneficios para él y sus aliados. La gran estafa de Trump no es solo personal, señores, es algo estructural. Él te prometió destruir el estado profundo, cuando en realidad él representa el estado profundo. El mismo club de élites ricos, élites poderosos, élites corruptos, que solo buscan protegerse entre sí. Este escándalo ha llegado a tal punto que los votantes han tenido que salir públicamente a decir que quieren que se liberen los archivos de una vez por todas.
Welcome back. As President Trump tries to move away from the controversy over the Jeffrey Epstein files, not all of his supporters are ready to. Some new polling by the Washington Post shows 86% of Americans want all of the files from this case released, including 83% of Republicans. NBC's Shaquille Brewster's with us now live from St. Clair, Michigan. Shaq, that's an overwhelmingly conservative area. Trump won 2/3 of the vote there in November. Yeah. What are you hearing from people there about how the president's handling the Epstein files?
Well, Anna, the conversations I've been having have reflected that polling that you were just showing. There is broad support for releasing all of the files that the federal government has. And you do also see a bit of a fracture of support among Republicans when you ask them specifically, how is Trump handling this issue? You know, one nugget in the poll cites about 24% of Republicans saying that they disapprove of how the president is handling this. I want you to listen to some of the conversations I've been having here. Trump administration, they're not releasing those files right now. It sounds like you want to see more.
I think you need to. I'm more concerned about immigration, about the economy.
I don't know why they're not releasing them. I couldn't tell you why. I would like to see transparency. Yeah. I would like to see everything released.
You support the administration not releasing those files?
I just support President Trump and Vance.
Democrats had it for 4 years too. They didn't want anything to do with it, but now they do. So to me, it's I think they are going to release it eventually. I don't think it's a big deal one way or the other to me.
And those conversations, Anna, underscore a key distinction here, especially as you have that uproar in conservative circles about the lack of the release of those files. Even as some say they disapprove of what the Trump administration is doing in their position right now, that doesn't mean they're breaking their support from President Trump just yet. They're giving him more time, even as they want to see more disclosure and more transparency, Anna.
Chuck Brewster, as always, good to have you and good to hear from the voters. Thank you. Joining us now is Amy Parnes, senior political correspondent at The Hill, and former Republican Congressman and MSNBC political analyst Carlos Curbelo. Congressman, the Republican voters that we just heard from there with Shaq seem to agree that they want the files released, but they're more concerned about other things like the economy. Could that change the longer this drags on?
Well, Anna, we don't think that people are going to abandon President Trump if they're already a part of his base. But where this really does matter is how enthusiastic is the base for the midterm elections. Democrats saw recently what it's like to have a base that's deflated, that isn't excited about turning out. This controversy is a big deal for the base because, remember, this is a base that was built on distrust of government institutions, on skepticism, on questioning the establishment, on the idea that there are these conspiracies that people are covering up, that powerful people are covering up. Donald Trump has always been, up to this point, the person to challenge, right, all of that. But in this case, some of his base voters now view him as someone who is trying to keep information from the public, who is acting like a lot of those establishment figures that he has criticized so strongly. So base enthusiasm is what Republicans are worried about when they think about this Epstein controversy.
Amy, what do you think, based on your reporting? Could this controversy, unlike so many others, end up being an albatross for the president?
Not yet. I mean, when I talk to Republicans, they're annoyed by it. They want a release of the files, but they also are saying, you know, they still love Trump. They still love what he's doing. Democrats, on the other hand, are trying to kind of seize a political opportunity here and say, look, you know, Donald Trump is responsible for this. Let's bring out the, you know, let's see more of this. And so they're trying to seize that opportunity. But I think that they're also saying, look, we lost because of the economy. And we have to keep our eyes on portraying this economy as Donald Trump's economy and owning it. And look, the price of beef is higher right now. Lumber is higher right now. If we can talk about, and I'm talking about Democrats, if they can talk about that, they think that is more of a winning issue long term.
And we just reported today, the latest inflation report shows prices are ticking up right now. The other big headline here politically, guys, is the former Vice President, Kamala Harris, announcing that she will not be running for governor of California. Although we have also learned she is writing a new book about her 2024 campaign. We're also learning she's going to be on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert tonight in her first interview since the 2024 election. Amy, do you think this sets a stage for another presidential run?
Definitely. I mean, my reporting a month ago was that she was leaning toward jumping in the governor's race, but her advisors told me that, you know, not so fast. She's still trying to decide, what does this mean for my political future? She wants a seat at the table. She wants to remain in public service. So a lot of people are saying, yes, this is definitely an indication that she felt like she almost won the election. If the election would have gone on a little longer, she could have won. And so maybe this is her chance at a do-over.
And Congressman, what do you make of Harris's decision? And what could it mean for now the 2028 presidential field?
Y por eso, señores, la próxima vez recuerden, Donald Trump no es el enemigo del sistema. Él es el sistema. Y su único objetivo siempre ha sido el mismo: utilizar a sus votantes para llegar al poder y luego olvidarse de todo lo que prometió. Mentir no es un error en el sistema, es el sistema. Muchas gracias por acompañarme hasta el final de este video. Recuerda, como siempre, dale like, comparte el contenido y suscríbete a nuestro canal Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.